Fuck it. I'll do a few. I'll do a few. Again, it'd be so much better if this game wasn't like this, but it is. We have to deal with that. Nothing you can do. As much as it frustrates me. There shan't that can be done. Wait, Captain Mifune? As in Go Mifune? As in Speed Racer? Go Speed Racer? Are you kidding me? Who the hell would have thought that Speed Racer turned into a captain for Zilla? I wonder if playing on the hardest difficulty mode for like 5 seconds is a worthwhile investment. It might actually be. Oh, hi, Captain Mifune. Please go into your... Thank you. Get out of my way. Pretty woman! Get out of my way. Listen, I just need to know if it's Captain Mifune from Speed Racer, Go Speed Racer. Well, not really, but your legs are pushing me around awkwardly. I just wanted to point that out before it went too much further. Huh. I'm sure there's like a bunch of reasons, and there's a lot of background stuff that explains the reasoning as to why they decided to go this way with the game. That isn't just Borderlands was making a fuck ton of money, and people like multiplayer games. I didn't like that fad at all. Like, there's so many games of that era that have just a massive crutch under their armpit. And all it's doing is it's multiplayer, and the multiplayer is there because, like, listen, the game isn't that great, but if you're with friends, you won't notice it as much. All I can think about is, dude. That's all you got, you're kind of sad, you know. Like, multiplayer doesn't make a game better. It doesn't make it more fun. All it does is it makes it so that you have someone to talk to when the game starts to bore the shit out of you, which is exactly how I feel about this game. I would love to have a friend with me who could be just as bored as I am, and we could talk to each other, and the game just becomes a fucking salon table. The game has no added value, but it sure is there. I forgot to swap off my weapon. Just want to see how it works, you know? It's alright. Not what I expected for the whole situation. I want to reload. Let's see how that works. Listen, I'm trying to enjoy my new weapon. Thank you. Just trying to enjoy myself here. This is gonna be it. I mean, you know, fair enough. That is this game's MO. I just feel like, you know, we've been painting the same stuff over the last few years. I just feel like if you really tried, you could make a little more of yourself, you know? Make a little bit out of yourself, you know? Fame, fortune. I'm like 75% of the time actually physically aware of what's going on. Which is honestly quite impressive considering. I would love if at the end of this game, it just goes, actually nothing was randomly generated. Even the whole spawn fuck up in that one level was entirely intentional. And I would call that the ballsiest move I'd ever seen. Nothing more, nothing less. Hella ballsy though. Hella ballsy. And probably the worst decision they could have ever made. But I give him the award of Jesus Christ, man, that's pretty cocky. Probably want to see this. Let's see, elemental damage spreader. Sure, I wouldn't mind. You know, just have a little fun in the sun. You know, we're in the middle of the world ending, but let's go steal some tea. That's the thing people don't think. That's the thing that Yahtzee complains a lot about, and it's not complaining. He's just accurately pointing out that you can't have tension if you have a game where you can go and do a side quest afterwards. The end of the world is coming, but don't worry, Dovahkiin. You can still do your stupid Mage Guild quest despite you having 0 magic skill. Because, you know, you're the hero of the story. You get to be the Archmage even though you fucking suck at magic. Everyone is going to be excited to read about your paper, how I shot a guy from the Archer stealth story, man. I hate how this bow does not have as much drop as I expected to. Imagine if I played this with, like, the actual difficulty settings. Ugh. I'm so mad. Alright. Whose ass am I kicking today? Not him. Fucking sucked at his job. Wow, it's this exact freaking quest, huh? You know, points for being this ballsy. To basically do the exact same quest.
Looks like this is in your millennium.
Honestly, at some point, I just get kind of curious. Like, how much does he have of that? How far can this man go? Why did they spend this much money on Lo Wang making dumb jokes? No, when you have to design an environment where you can't pick up the quest item because there's just dudes around, there's no reason. They're just chained to it, and it's something goofy like that. All I can say is redesign your game. At that point, just make a fucking game where you have to pick up some keys. Maybe they drop some keys. The environment won't let you progress unless you kill the bad guys, and it's all in one place. You know, all the fights are like in sequence. You know, you fight all the enemies in sequence, so you get the same amount of fights, but you fight them all in sequence. And get this: the cutscenes, you can put them at the beginning and the end of those environments. It's kind of a weird idea. You would, instead of randomly generating levels, you'd create structured content. And you use the same arena a couple of times by spawning new enemies and, like, this thing called waves. You might actually be able to use the same content, like, a couple of times that way. So you don't have to make a whole bunch of new content all the time. And maybe because you're curating it, you can put like a little extra effort in to make sure that those environments you can do though are a little better, Oh, just stick it out loud how you could potentially handle your game design a bit better next time. Given that right now I'm looking more at my minimap and at, than the game, which feels a little antithetical to a video game. You know, in Shadow Warrior, I mentioned that you should play on easy mode if you just want to have a fun romp and stomp, but I never felt that the game was free. I never felt like I could stand around and take hits and just suck up everything, and I think that might have like a slight negative impact on the gameplay experience, that I don't feel any tension. You know, tension is like a really easy way to make a situation more exciting, and I just don't feel any tension for some reason. I don't know why. Like, even when I'm in a big fight and I'm actually like slightly threatened, I still don't feel much. It's like some sort of component is missing. It's necessary for me to care about the environment. Some kind of ante that's raised because of the circumstance. Some kind of stakes, you might say. Some kind of narrative or mechanical tension. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Due to circumstances, I think I loaded the wrong one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. So this screen soft-locked on me in a way that required me to... Well, let's just say the desktop task manager didn't work. I had to create a new desktop and drag it over there. But hey, I learned a new trick. I think being a game that taught me a new trick on how to avoid getting stuck on a menu is not a very positive thing to be had. I think after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a fun video game. I'm just going to... What's it called? What do we call it again? I'm going to find a fun video game. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this inconceivable thing. This inconceivable thing, right? Like, listen, hear me out, alright? I'm gonna look for some fun video games. I don't care how expensive it is. I'm just gonna buy it. And I'm gonna play it. I'm just gonna have some fun. I'm honestly surprised how this game turned out to be just as bad as I remembered. It's been years. My opinion should have at least changed a bit, but they haven't at all. It's like you go back to an old haunted house and turns out that the ghost's still there, and you're like, really, ghost? You haven't changed at all? You haven't decided to do something else with your life for once? Really? Don't tell me how to live your life, dude. There are better ways to live it than this. Better ways than this. I mean, the whole point of the original game was that you didn't have to take cover. Although, you know, when you get older, particularly when you get musculier, I'm gonna keep the option in mind, Mr. Wang. Like, I should not be able to get away with this unless you guys were all the mookiest mooks in Mookton. Sure as hell ain't. You know, this game would have benefited from enemies being willing to run away if things got a bit hairy, you know. Like, you kick too much ass and instead of becoming infuriated, they're like, you know what, I'm gonna leave. The infuriation mechanic was nice. Enraged, whatever it was called. Added a wrinkle to things. Like, you do too well, the game's gonna give you something to work with. Hey, if you're having too much fun.
Not to sound like a racist, but all these games really do look alike.
I also think that I think it's just the amount of fights. Like, it's possible a lot of things stay the same. Just because the game is so different now in terms of layout that these aspects are more noticeable. Which is fair enough. Fire vulnerable, huh? Well, you know, it's just another way of saying you're vulnerable to lead. Also, that charge time just feels too long for what it's worth. It's a good move, don't get me wrong. Definitely something you want to be using. It just feels a little too long. And feel is everything in a game. It's gotta feel. You have to focus on preserving the illusion you're going for, the experience you're going for. It should all be in service of that in some fashion. And I feel, I don't know what what's the idea that you're able to conquer these demon-torn lands? Because it doesn't feel like that. One that lands don't necessarily feel demon-torn. Oh god, he's gonna do that stupid, god-awful parlor trick where he's like, I'm special. I'm special. Yeah, this one's going a lot easier than the other Westathons. It's easy to miss all those drops because, you know, my eyes are up here looking at the mini-map. Again, just decent, it works, it's a video game, but bad overarching decisions all the way down. Oh, we're doing this again. You know, I tried out Gozu's axe, and I gotta say, I love it. It's got a powerful singular swings. That's what I mean. How can you not love that in a sword? You know what? I think this game would have benefited from some stealth mechanics because, you know, it has the vanish ability. Clearly someone liked stealth. Gosh, you guys just fall apart at the seams the second someone sneezes on you. It's so good. And now this game gets fun again. Getting all those headshots. There's something about the game's pacing. I don't know how to put it. There's something about how the game paces itself that feels less comprehensive. Less like it wants me to be tactical and smart about things. I like this axe a lot. Just... Oh cool, that's probably because I reached like level 60 or 50 or something, who knows. There's lots of enemies like all over the place. Oh, there is an easier way to leave this time. But yeah, I think they're mostly underground, so... Let's go and settle some affairs, shall we? Why are you so tall? You're humans. Why are you so tall? What a strange level design-wise. Just whatever it feels like, huh? Who needs design principles? You know, I kind of think about, like, this game could have done something with the music, you know. Have like a soundtrack that only plays when your shadow superpower is ready. you know, add a little bit of a diversity to the situation. Encourage you to use the power more. Yeah, I've been to that like multiple times. Man, this has been like a fast one, but honestly, at this point, I don't know if I can trust this game on anything. Every single time I'm like, oh, it's actually gotten a bit better about things, huh? Invariably, that statement gets followed up with, well, not really. Just one section that decided to be less ass. This is what I hate about those goddamn claws. Really? You decided to become an extra large dude? So they want it to be for Christmas, I guess. You know, this almost is the structure of a proper mission. We've been doing a lot of walking, and there's like a couple of fights that feel like they should be part of something, but... I like how they keep that wall in every time with all the physics. I wonder why they did this. Like, I understand. Well, wasn't this like past the part where people got their heads out of their fucking asses when it comes to you need to have X amount of hours of content for a video game to be a video game, kids. Not a video game if it doesn't last me the whole summer. Just saying, this feels like she would post that. That sure was that. This axe is great. I mean, to be fair, you do have to do like a quest thing for this, so I guess it's fair enough that it's not bad. Hell, I might just do another quest mission, I guess, while I'm here.